Is Ukraine harvesting the organs of wounded soldiers? So this stemmed from a video that's been making its way around Russian Telegram. I'm going to show you the video, but first, I want to tell you that it's about as real as the TV show Grey's Anatomy.
У вас тут скіп? Скіп де? Скіп де, я питаю? Нормально не міг сказати? Ти звідси Криса йобана.
Now I'm going to go over the video frame by frame and show you what's fake about it, but first I have to put it into context when it comes to organ donation. America has a system called opt-in for organ donation. Usually when you get your driver's license, you indicate that you'd like to become an organ donor. You see in my Maryland driver's license here, I am an organ donor. Now the problem with this system is that if it's opt-in, people might not choose to do it. So it lowers the amount of organs that are available at any given time. The good news is that America has a pretty advanced computer system called UNet that matches organs with potential transplant candidates. Russia uses a different strategy for organ donation. Most Russians are Orthodox Christians. The Russian Orthodox Church rejects cremation and believes that on the second coming of Christ, the faithful will be resurrected in their physical bodies. While the Russian Orthodox Church has no official opinion on organ donation, there is a taboo against it in Russia for cultural and religious reasons. So, also note, Russia has no nationalized computerized organ database. So, one of the ways that Russia has tried to increase the local organ donor supply was a 1992 law titled On the Transplant of Human Organs and Tissues. This law created a presumed consent system that not a lot of people know about, meaning when you're brain dead, if there's no record that you didn't want your organs harvested, doctors can take whatever they want. This has led to a system where family members are shocked when their loved ones have their organs harvested without their consent. Now, there's a lot of confusion about these laws, and it's kind of created a horror show, especially among religious people in their 50s and 60s, the very people who watch state-sponsored TV news. So, the idea that the Ukrainians might be harvesting organs on the battlefield is extremely distasteful among regime supporters. Now, I didn't know a lot about organ harvesting before I started researching this video, but I certainly assumed that you would need more equipment and better facilities than what's shown in the video. So I reached out to Dr. Aaron Epstein, a surgeon and founder of the Global Surgical and Medical Support Group. If Dr. Epstein sounds familiar, he's also the author of a landmark paper on how the United States will need to adjust its tactical combat casualty care for any LSCO future conflicts or large-scale combat operations. Dr. Epstein was instrumental in breaking down some of the medical facts behind transplantation, and I combined that with some of my own research. I was actually shocked about how little I knew about organ transplantation and how relatively recent organ transplantation actually is. First off, organ transplantation is an incredibly difficult procedure. In fact, the first successful organ transplant wasn't done until 1954 when Dr. Joseph E. Murray of the Peter Bent Brigham Hospital in Boston, Massachusetts successfully transplanted a kidney between two identical twins. And it wasn't until 1963 that an organ was successfully transplanted from a brain-dead donor. So, this is not something you're going to do in a makeshift surgical center, at least not successfully. So let's go over the video. First, these IV bags look hooked up to themselves. Typically, you need constant fluids running to the body to maintain circulation so that nutrients and oxygen can get to those organs. Second, one incandescent bulb is not enough light for an operating room. You don't have enough light to see what you're doing. At a minimum, you want headlamps, which, from what I understand, is ubiquitous among field units. Third, there isn't an anesthesia machine or an anesthesiologist. Now, when you think of an anesthesiologist, you typically think of someone who prevents pain during an operation, but that's only one of the anesthesiologist's roles. It's really the anesthesiologist's job to keep the body alive. During the surgical procedure, the anesthesiologist flies the plane. The surgeon provides the in-flight entertainment. Fourth, you normally have more than just a few trays of sterile instruments, even for just basic procedures. Now, for example, this is a black market organ transplant room in India, and even they have better equipment. Finally, the surgeon in this video doesn't seem to have any blood on his gown, and these procedures are pretty messy. That's the video. Now, where does this fit in with Russian propaganda? Well, remember how I said Russian propaganda has three phases: seeding, harvesting, and amplification. This hit Twitter on December 22nd, 2022 from an account named Cheryl Walsh, or Esther Time 41. This is the seeding phase right here. This is what started it all. Then you start to see this one video with a Russian paratrooper pop up where the paratrooper talks about finding a child organ network in the Ukrainian city of Izium. Now, the important part here is that Russia uses a tactic they often use to prove that their claims are real. They use a Western media outlet. In this case, an article from the BBC from back in 2005 titled "Harrowing Reports of Babies Stolen at Birth and Human Organ Removal in a Ukrainian City Are to be Investigated by a Top European Political Body." So this is part of the Russian playbook. They use a Western source, no matter how old or inaccurate that source might be, to prove their plan. Now, this doesn't really gain any traction, so they try a few more angles into it. They bring Israel into it on January 6, 2023. That works for a while, but the paratrooper story then starts to gain traction. So now we're in the harvesting phase. Russia has found something that resonates. On January 31st, a coordinated campaign is released across multiple misinformation news websites: StuartPeters.com, NationalFile.com, RussiaTruth.co, and Nemo's News Network. Same article, same pictures. Same day. So now that Russia has found something that works, the harvesting phase is complete. Now it's time to shift into amplification. In late May, the video proof comes out. This pops up in a video on a bot Twitter account named Arthur Morgan. And Arthur Morgan, by the way, is a character from a video game called Red Dead Redemption. The account is frequently used to spread misinformation. I've dealt with the guy before. He's neither an intelligence expert, nor a military strategist, nor a medical professional. But Internet edgelords love the guy because they get the inside scoop, and so this guy gains false credibility through mass viewership. If you are watching this guy's feed or retweeting this guy's information, you are contributing to the problem. This video was part of the amplification phase, and now the misinformation campaign is complete. All they need is a Western source to take that video and give it some credibility in some sort of article. Now, this video is a particularly tough video for me to do because most people, including me, just don't know how organ transplants are performed. So making a fake video on organ transplants is actually a relatively easy thing to produce. It's actually far easier than faking combat footage. Thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to Dr. Aaron Epstein of the Global Surgical and Medical Support Group for helping me through the medical procedures in this video. If you want to see more of the timeline, I have a whole story about it on Substack. You can get to it in the pinned comments below. And if you want to support the channel, head on over to Bunker Branding, buy a t-shirt, and I've also been doing cameo videos recently. That makes a great Father's Day gift for Dad. And thank you so much for watching.
Oh, hi, America. It's me, Elon. If you want to be cool like me, go and get a Ryan McBeth t-shirt or hoodie from Bunker Branding. I'm going to get a HIMARS shirt because it fires rockets, and rockets are pretty cool, just like me. Ha ha ha, you fool. It is me, Mark Zuckerberg, from Facebook. And I will be the coolest once I get a Patriot shirt because the system is fully automated, just like me. I'm going to get a U.S. Navy Department of the Boat People hoodie because I love their management style. Now, I will be cooler than any of you lads once I get my sweet drone shirt.
No, I'm going to get a landmine marker shirt because they blow up just like Windows.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to get.
Oh no, it is Steve Wozniak from Apple.
That's right, you nerds. You think you're the coolest for wearing a shirt? Well, Ryan McBeth does all the work, yeah. So go buy a shirt from Bunker Branding to fund Ryan McBeth to increase your understanding. Oh, yeah!